just how it happened. I honestly, with 400 to go, I thought I was a little bit out of it and didn't think I was going to do it. And then I did it, and I doubled back, and um, the goal was just to run hard. I didn't expect to break a second record that day. It was just we came through the mile in like 4:15, 4:16, which is about 8 flat pace, and um, we hit about a K to go, and um, we picked it up a bit. Some of the guys from a group down in Providence, they were kind of pushing it, and with golly, maybe like 400, 300 to go, I just took it and wasn't really focusing on time. It was literally just about getting a faster effort in. And when I saw I ran 750, I was like a little shocked. If you play back the video, you can kind of see I was like a little shocked that I ended up running that fast because the point wasn't to run fast. It was just to get that stimulation in, that stimulus of this is what it's going to feel like in 3 or 4 weeks when I have to toe the line after running a championship mile and hopefully try and come back and win another one. But yeah, it was super exciting, to do that. And I've run many doubles and triples in my career, and I think that's just a testament of the work I've done before. And doubled and tripled a lot in high school, and I did it a lot. Being from a D2 school, you tend to double at these really small meets every once in a while, and I just ended up doing that a lot in my career, and I think it just plays into my strengths, which is something
sure.
I'm proud of.
So, going back to like being like a Division II athlete, like what makes you kind of choose Lee, decide to go Division II instead of like going to like some big D1?
Yeah, that's probably one of the more frequent questions I get, and honestly, like I said, I got a kind of a late start to running. Really didn't take it serious until my junior year of high school. Didn't really throw up anything flashy at first. Placed at state. Didn't really know like what that meant. I just ran because my
Mm-hmm.
friends ran, and this was fun. Like I get to hang out with my friends and run and talk, and we get to travel on the weekends and go run out in some random field in Indiana. Um,
Yeah.
and then like my senior year, I had committed to Lee. I just took a visit. College wasn't really on my radar. I didn't think I was academically inclined enough to go to college, but I found out that because of running, I can go do that, which is kind of cool. And took a visit to Lee. Really enjoyed the coach. Um, he saw something in me, I guess, or maybe he was just saying that to get me to come to Lee because at the time Lee wasn't the Lee that we know it as it is now. And
Yeah.
I think at the time when I was getting recruited, our school record in the 5K was like 15:10.
Wow.
So nothing super flashy. No one had broken 15 in school history, and I ended up breaking 15 that year in high school and went to Foot Locker. And um, at that point in my career, I thought, Foot Locker is like the top of the sport. This is as high as you can go
Yeah.
as an athlete. Um, and then I get to college and realize there's D1 and D2. And like, I didn't even know Lee was really D2. I just went to Lee because you run and you just go run against everybody like in high school. Um, and I kind of like got to Lee and figured out, oh, we're D2. And like, what does that mean? And then I figured out we don't race against these D1 schools, and like, what does D1 mean? And so I didn't really know. I guess I was just super innocent to the sport, which
Yeah.
is a really good thing. And it just kind of carried into the next 6 years. I just kind of carried this chip on my shoulder of, you can run fast anywhere. And that was kind of like my motivation and driving force to be the best. And it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty fun to be from this random school in Tennessee, and you show up and you beat guys from Arkansas and Oregon and all these established running schools. So it was kind of fun. I really enjoyed being from the smaller school, and I'm being that innocent to the sport. I would go back to Lee again if I had the choice. And it's all
Mm-hmm.
about, for me, it was all about my relationship with the coach. And um, I think if you find a school where you enjoy the coach, then it goes a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. So after college, you obviously turned pro, which was probably pretty big for you. did you like was running like after you knew you got really really good and you had all these records? Was that like your goal was to turn pro, or did it just kind of happen? Really?
Yeah, I guess in 2020 is when I started looking at those options. I hadn't really thrown anything up crazy. I think I'd run like 13:48 at the time. And then after that, I think like Oregon Track Club reached out in 2020, um, which like once again I hadn't really run anything flashy. I think I just competed well at that meet, and maybe they saw something. Um, but
Yeah.
like that group ceases to exist now, so it's kind of funny to look back.
Yeah.
I think moving in from like fall of 2020 to 2021, when I broke the 3K and the 5K record, and won two NCAA indoor titles, and my outdoor season wasn't great. I DNF'd both the outdoor races, and then the fall was okay, and then I guess moving into that 2022 indoor outdoor season, I really pressed on reaching out to coaches, and I got an agent, and he kind of helped me navigate that. So it's kind of always it was always on my radar. Um, I guess when you get to a certain point, you can just kind of start thinking about that, and uh, sometimes it happens for people. It doesn't happen for everybody, unfortunately. Just the way the sport works, can be a little unforgiving to those who probably deserve a contract. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it was always on my radar. And then I took a couple visits, and I visited New Balance, and it was just like the most obvious fit out of all the coaches I talked to. I talked to like Puma and New Balance and Union Athletics and OTC and 10 man, and um, New Balance was the most obvious choice, just with the coach Mark Coogan. What he does with his athletes aligned really well with what I had already been doing in college, and um, it was a pretty easy transition when
Mm-hmm.
I made that switch, and it's been pretty good. But yeah, it was always on my radar. I mean, I didn't really know pro running until probably my junior year. I didn't really pay close attention. I just wasn't really on my radar, and then all of a sudden it was just like, okay, now I can do this. Now I can do this. So let's
Yeah.
just press the gas, reach out to as many people as possible, talk to almost all the coaches you can, except for maybe like one or two. But
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
talking about more now about the future, like what are your future goals? Knowing that you're like pretty new to pro running, so like what are your future goals? And like what do you have for this season planned for?
I got a couple. I like to set some realistic goals, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe like a couple of goals that's like maybe a little out of reach, which is always nice to shoot for. Um, like breaking DT records, I always had those on my board. Even when I was a freshman, just like I looked up the records, and like that's what I wanted to shoot for. And like it took 5 or 6 years, but you look at it enough, it becomes a little bit more realistic every day. And right now, my goals are to like I want to break 350 in the mile this year. Um, Ran on pace for about 1,500 meters last indoor season, and just kind of blew up the last 100. So I think breaking 350 is pretty realistic. I know there's talks of a 2 mile record attempt at Melrose. Um, so I think there might be an idea of, instead of running at Melrose, running it at BU the same day, but later in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so maybe whatever record set at Melrose, we will chase that standard later in the day, to maybe try and get it back um,
Yeah.
to Boston University, which would be pretty cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then thinking trials, like I think the steeplechase is my route to the Olympics. And no offense to the U.S. steeplers, but it's one of the more open events to
Yeah, for
run. And
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
when you get guys like Jaeger who are on his way out, Hillary Bohr who had a pretty big injury last year, leaves the door
Mm-hmm.
open to a few people. And I ran 8:35 3 years ago, so you know
Yeah.
I like to believe I can run 8:15. at least sub 820. Hopefully make an Olympic team this summer, which would be obviously that is truly the top of the sport. Making the Olympics.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of where my headspace is, and I think if you're a pro runner, it's obviously the goal is to make teams, and you got 100 other people out there training who are thinking the same thing, that when they step on the line that they have that shot of making the team and repping the U.S.
Yeah. So I just want to like touch a little bit on like how's your like mindset as a runner, like when you have a bad race that doesn't go as planned, or maybe like you don't have a good of a workout, like how do you bounce back and keep like moving forward after stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think bad races and bad workouts are a part of running. Um,
Hmm.
I was told this a while back, and I like to tell other people is running and racing, it works in a rule of thirds. A third of the time, this should be awesome. You should have the most amazing race ever. Um, have a great workout, best workout. A third of the time, it should be a super normal day.
Hmm.
Nothing special. You go in, you go out. You don't really think much about it. And then a third of the time, it shouldn't go well.
Hmm.
You should have a bad workout, a bad race, whatever. And you can look at that from a 7-day schedule, Monday to Sunday. Some of the time I didn't feel good. Like long run was tough, but I had a good workout, and the rest of the day was kind of like, whatever.
Hmm.
And then you can look at it as a season. The beginning was rough, and kind of grab my bearings halfway through, and then I close it up really well. And I
Hmm.
think if you just think about that mindset, and um, obviously this last season didn't go great, but I had a great indoor season. Outdoor season obviously wasn't my favorite part, and then fall has
Hmm.
just been pretty standard. I'm feeling good again. Workouts are good. So throughout the year, I mean, I've been working through that rule of thirds all year.
Hmm.
So I think I'm in a good place. And even with races, just it happens. Not every race is going to be perfect. And um, if every race is perfect and you're doing awesome in every race, you're not maybe you're not going too hard in workouts, or you're maybe not pushing yourself hard
Hmm.
enough. And if every race is terrible and you can't grab your bearings and you aren't PRing, well, maybe you're training too hard. And if every
Hmm.
run is just whatever, then maybe you're just not training well enough. So
Hmm.
gotta find that rhythm of, sometimes it's gonna suck, sometimes it's gonna be awesome, and sometimes it's just gonna be pretty average day. So that's
Yeah.
that's always my mindset with things is, if I'm in a down slope, I know an upslope is coming, or
Hmm.
maybe some just average days are ahead of me. So it's not a it's not a crazy mindset. It's just something I've kind of been told through the years, and just like to
Hmm.
remind myself.
Yeah. I'm guessing it just comes from a lot of like trust in your training, trust in your coach, just the
Mm-hmm.
process.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't remember where I read this from, but it was like, you're about to feel your best when you feel your worst. So it kind of goes back to
Yeah.
like that little like wave. So, and I feel like that is true when I think about it. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, to step aside, still a little bit mental, but do you have any superstitions or anything like you have to do before a race or after a race or even during, to like superstitions that you think are gonna really help you race well?
Um, Not like superstitions, but I always like to take a super long shower before I race. So if I'm like
Yeah, I do that. I
at the
do that.
hotel beforehand, before I leave, I like to just like sit in the shower, like literally like I sit down in the shower. I just crank the heat, and I just like think about my race and like what I want to happen, and think about maybe like who's in the race, and like how they usually, do we have kickers in the race, do we have people who like to push the race, like how do I think the race is going to play out. And I try to think of things that might happen in the race that I might want to think about, like, oh, like what if someone goes down or stuff like that. So I like to do a lot of visualizing, and I just like sitting in the shower and
Yeah.
doing that before races. Um, and I just like you feel clean, and if you feel good, you'll race good, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's one of the things I like to do.
So, also, this is a question I've been meaning to ask a professional runner, not just you specifically, but a lot of male runners will shave their legs and their arms for, like, I don't 100% get that reason. Like, I know why swimmers do it. I don't get why runners have to do it. Like, there's no air resistance really going through. I was wondering, like, I don't think you do, but is there any scientific proof that helps or anything?
Nah, I don't do that personally. I did it like once in high school, but that's not a that's not me.
Did
I
it?
don't know why people do that. Maybe it's just because it feels good when
I
you're
would
running
assume
and
so.
the air's hitting your legs, I guess. But
Yeah, I just
yeah,
yeah.
that's not me.
Bro,
So like when you transition from like college to pro running, like yeah, like it was it difficult, but like also like you're racing against these guys who are like Olympic gold medalists or US champs. Is that like intimidating when you get on the line and oh, there might be like Matthew Centrowitz right beside you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of respect for a lot of people when you get out there, but like you go to these training camps, and like I see Woody and Abdi working out and
Mm,
Louis G, and they're all normal people. Like I know for a while, uh, I try not to fanboy over anybody. I think when you get to this, I think when you get to this level, you need to see yourself as as someone in the circle, and
mm,
um, if I'm asking for pictures for people and doing stuff like that, it's not a I don't it's not me seeing myself. So it's kind of a mindset,
mm,
but it is a love. I do have a level of respect of those who have like made teams, and
mm,
to rub shoulders with them in a race is exciting. It gives me confidence that I'm taking, like at New Balance Grand Prix last year, I'm taking Woody to the line, and he's an American record holder and Olympian
yeah.
and world championship finalist, and I'm finishing half a second behind him in a 3K. So,
Mm,
um, yeah, there's a level of respect, but I don't feel like intimidated.
mm,
Obviously, they run really fast, and that's cool. But on any given day, anybody can win, and that's like the great thing about the sport is you can be the top dog, but not every race is going to be a 1250 race. So it's
yeah.
just if you don't bring it, you're going to lose to some kid who went to some D2 school in Tennessee. So I hate to be that guy.
So talking about
for you,
racing. Oh, Alan, you can go. My bad, Alan.
oh, like talking about racing and like like about the good racing. I want to ask like, how do you recover from a bad race or like from a bad workout?
We already asked that,
How
Alan.
to recover from a bad race?
Oh,
Okay,
I
so
mean, I'll say this. So
okay,
I always give myself after a bad race 24 hours. Be upset for
Mhm,
24 hours. Dissect the race. What did you do good? What did you do bad? I think even in a bad race, you can find things you did good in. Maybe I got a good start, but maybe my positioning was bad. But if you got a good, that's something to take away from it and apply it next time, and then focus on the other things. But then yeah, just give yourself 24 hours. It's my after a bad race. My roommate always say, cry about it for 24 hours and then forget about it. Like no one cares.
mhm,
So
yeah.
just something to think about.
yeah. So about races, would you say that you're a better tactical racer or like all out fast racing, no sitting and kicking, no like slow races, or are you all out from the gun?
Um, I mean, like I've done the mile the last few years, and any pro miler will tell you that they all have the best kick. So they all want to believe that, when it comes down to it, they can win. And like I always think I have the best kick, so I think I can win off a tactical race. But I've also run some of my best races hot from the start, so I think I can do both. And I'm not afraid from a fast pace. But if I had to choose, I would choose a tactical race just because I think I can. I just think I have the best kick. I mean, that's such a miler mentality, but I think it's just if I had to leave it to it, I would take a kick over a fast start.
Yeah, it's not bragging if you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So,
do you have like a
oh, whoa,
Brandon?
Xander, that's you.
like do you have like a favorite place to like race? Like I know obviously like you've raced a lot of places. Is there any like one that you're like, oh, I'm so excited to race here?
Yeah. I always enjoyed racing at JDL Fast Track. That was always a
Mhm.
pretty like electric meet, especially with the pro races. They kind of like shut the lights out, introduce people. It's like a really fun atmosphere. Um, I mean, another place, obviously Boston University. It's
Yeah.
obviously an electric atmosphere as well. So many people want to go there to run fast, and that's why people go there. You're almost guaranteed a fast race and a PR.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'd probably say like Boston University, and like obviously the New Balance track is awesome. Racing there at Grand Prix was an awesome atmosphere, and to do it in front of like a bunch of local people was pretty special. So hopefully, you know, have more cool races like that at BU and New Balance.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Well, for my last question is, what's been your favorite memory? You've been in high school, you've been in college, you've been in professional so far. So what has been like the moment in running where, you just always remember?
Probably D2 indoors in 2022. We golly, I think we were the last seed for the DMR. Like, yeah, I think we were the last seed, and I got the baton in like 10th place maybe, and I dropped like a 3:53, and we won it, and like set the D2 record and the championship record, which was pretty cool. So yeah, we were down by like 7 or 8 seconds, and I just brought it back. It was fun. It wasn't as much fun for me. It was fun to like obviously winning's exciting.
Yeah.
But we had like we had a freshman on the lead leg, and two guys who you know were really good, but um, it was just fun to like help them win a national title, and to see
Mhm.
their faces and to be at the top of the podium, and we all get our trophies, and that they can say they won an NCAA national title and they hold an NCAA record and a championship record is um, it was pretty exciting. Despite getting DQ'd that same weekend and like not doing as well in the 3K as I wanted, is that
Mhm.
whole race made up for it because it was just super exciting to share that winning experience with someone. Just because for a while, like I won a couple the year before, and I didn't have anyone to like really like not share the experience, but like relate to that experience and the
Mhm.
joy, and to share that with three other people was pretty fun experience.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. Yeah, thank you for coming out here or for joining the Zoom call and interviewing with us. And
Yeah.
if you could give like just a quick like couple sentence advice to anyone, what would it be? Just like super quick, like couple sentences, just like yeah,
Couple sentences. Okay. I guess the super easy one is just like keep showing up.
yeah,
If you
Mhm.
show up, eventually it's gonna stick. And it took me 4 or 5 years to keep showing up, and it eventually stuck. And I promise it'll be worth it. So if you just keep showing up and do the work for it, it'll all pay off eventually. Whether that's making nationals, breaking records, or just setting a personal best, like you'll look back and be happy that you showed up and did the work.
Awesome. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. It's great advice.
Yeah, awesome. That was
Yeah,
good.
for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and that should be it. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Miss,
for sure.
Can you
Mr.
give us a way Fortnite changed your life?
The way Fortnite changed my life. Back in 2017 when I first played Fortnite, golly, it's the most memorable times of my life. COVID Fortnite was unstoppable. COVID Warzone, those were the best times of my life.
Mhm.
OG Fortnite, near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. It
So,
was.
like,
I challenge any professional runner to play me Fortnite. It won't.
Yeah,
I would put
we
money.
might clip this one.
I would put money that any runner could not beat Christian Noble in Fortnite. I guarantee that I would put money on Christian Noble every single time.
The goal is to make the Olympics. The goal is to make the Olympics and then post something about being the best Olympian at Fortnite.
I mean, that would be
I mean,
that would
like,
be a
no
true
one- no one-
statement.
Olympics and beat me in Fortnite.
That would be a true
Like,
statement.
You think Cole Hawker is beating you at Fortnite? There's no way.
No, there's no way. He's
No,
too busy. He's too
I'm
busy running.
bodying Jakob in Fortnite.
Jacob.
You're gonna be like
Jacob.
talking crap to like Olympians online. How many Fortnite dubs you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That's
Man,
right.
what level are you in Fortnite?
You're definitely not 250 or whatever you are. I can't even.
100 meters to go. The Fortnite King is kicking.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
There you go.